Hi everyone, this is Nathan with the ebookreader.com. I'm going to give you guys a comparison between the Asus Transformer and the iPad 3 today. So this is the original Transformer. It's the first generation model, and we've got the iPad 3 on this side. So I was putting together this iPad 3 versus Transformer review, and it was getting really long. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this video together to cover a lot of the other details that I didn't cover in the written review, and just sort of show you guys some of the similarities and differences between these two tablets. So the biggest difference with the Transformer is that it has this keyboard dock that you can buy, and then you can just stick the Transformer in here. You can check out the ebook reader blog. I already have a review up for this Transformer dock. So you get the keyboard, full-size keyboard on here, and you've got some extra features with that. It also has a battery in there, and it has a full-size SD card slot and a couple full-size USB ports. So that's like the one main advantage with the Transformer brand of tablets. So the iPad obviously doesn't have a keyboard attachment. You can use like Bluetooth keyboards and whatnot. So as far as the operating system goes, that's where the biggest differences are. The iPad has that button right here. You go to the home screen, and then the Android. This is Android 4.0 on the Transformer. We've got the home button here, back button. This is the recent apps. So you see your recent apps right here, and you got a thumbnail. You can jump back and forth this way with the recent apps. And then with the iPad, it's got the you use 4 fingers and scroll up, and you've got the recent apps list down here, or you hit the home button twice. And from here you can also access the brightness and volume, and so all your apps are over here. And so if you're in an app, you can change apps just by going like this, swiping with 4 fingers. Will take you to the next app in the list. So it goes like that. And then so the Android doesn't really have an option like that. You just have the recent apps bar, obviously, and then you can just jump back and forth with it. And it has the quick notifications bar down here, so your brightness adjusters down here, your quick settings for Bluetooth, all that. You got those settings right here. You can go to the full settings menu right there. So as far as the screen quality goes, the iPad definitely has the advantage. It has the high resolution screen. I've got this right here. What is it? The 24. We've got the 2048 by 1536 resolution, and then this has the 1280 by 800. So what that means basically is this one's 3/4 of an inch, or about half an inch wider, and this one's about half an inch taller. As you can see with the ratio, we got 16:10 here, 4:3 over here. So that's just one of the differences with the screen. And both have IPS screens, so the viewing angles are really good on both of them. So like even from the bottom and from the sides, the viewing angles are really good. Same with the iPad. So you don't really have any loss of clarity when you go to the angles. Okay, so while I've got the web browsers open, let's go ahead and compare some of the features. You've got the double tap on both of them. We've got the different tabs. If you hold down, you get the options here as well. You can open a new tab. So the iPad has the same deal. Open a new tab. So it's got the tabs up here, and then the Transformer has them up here. With the iPad, you can hold down and you get the option to copy, and what's really cool I like is this little built-in dictionary you got that pops up. So with the Transformer and just Android tablets in general, you've got the text selection as well. You've got this little icon with the little pop-up with the ICS update now, and you got the text selections up here, copy. One thing I like is you got the search option right here, so you can just check out the definitions if you want, or hit the Google search if you highlight a word. So you got a few more options as far as that goes. The iPad or the Android's a little bit more visually set up with the icons like this. I have a little bit of problems with this web browser. That's why my bookmarks are all gone, because it crashed, and I reset and it got rid of them all, because I do have more problems with the ICS web browser. It just sort of like crashes for no reason. I don't know what the deal is. So the iPad's web browser is definitely a little bit more smoother. Let's see here which one loads faster. I'll load the same page. Neither of them have loaded before. Looks like the iPad's definitely got the edge in speed. And see, yeah, it's not scrolling so good. One thing I like about the Transformer is it's got this little quick zoomer right here, this little quick slider right here, so you can sort of slide fastly. The iPad, once you scroll all the way down, you can tap the screen, the top up here, and it will scroll back to the top. So that's just sort of some of the similarities and differences with the web browser. Let's go ahead and move on to something else. To close the apps with the iPad, I usually just go like that, or you can hit the home button. So the biggest thing when you're comparing these two guys is the app stores. One thing I've noticed is that the iPad seems to have, or the Android tablets seem to have a lot more free apps. The iPad has a good selection of free apps, but there seems to be a lot more in the Android market, and they'll have like regular apps with advertisements in them. So they're usually not too annoying, the ads. They seem to be more buy-centric with the iPad. They have some free apps, and some of them have the ad-supported versions as well, but just seems from my experience that there's a lot more free apps in the Android market. Plus you can use the Amazon App Store and get a paid free app every day. So if you're the poor sort, you probably want to go with an Android tablet, because you're going to get a lot more access to apps and free apps. With the iPad, you're going to have to be buying stuff more often. However, the iPad apps, they all seem to work better. The presentation looks better. You get smoother operation in most cases. I just picked a couple of random ones here. CNN, for instance, just looks better on the iPad. It loads faster. I can't even usually get it to work on Android half the time. It just crashes. Let's see if it works this time. So you kind of got the similar layout here. But as usual, the stuff with the iPad just sort of seems to be a little smoother, a little faster. The apps are just generally in better shape. As you can see, this one's taking forever to load. So that's just sort of one thing to keep in mind with the apps. They're going to be like, you get more options with free apps and cheaper apps, it seems like, with the Android tablets, but the apps on the iPad seem to run a lot better. Like this one is still taking forever. That's just ridiculous. This is another thing I was talking about in the review. Go ahead and load up the same app here. This was actually updated for the iPad's Retina display yesterday. As you can see, there's a, let me go back here to the store. The layout's just a lot nicer on the iPad. It's more like a stretched version. It's like set up for Android phones, it looks like, on the Android, and it's just sort of like all stretched out. We've got an update, ask me later. Okay, so we've got a little more presentable appearance as usual on the iPad. Let me go ahead and show you what an actual comic on each of these. So the other day I couldn't even get these to download. That's sort of like a thing. Okay, they downloaded alright. They were downloading definitely better from the iPad for some reason. So let's just load up the same one here. See what a comparison looks like. Let's go back to the front page. Alright, so here we go. Definitely clearer on the iPad. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this in person or on the camera. It's more of an in-person type of thing. I want to see what some of the text balloons look like. So yeah, the text is just a little bit clearer on the iPad. It's actually not that bad at all on the Transformer. It's got, what, 149 pixels per inch. The iPad's got like 264. So it's definitely got a lot better pixel density. Some of the colors just look a little bit brighter. The text, it's not hard to read at all on this, but it's just a little bit crisper and clearer on the iPad. There's no question about that. So you can run a lot of the same app. See, that's the thing I keep getting confused with. I'm always over here on the Transformer wanting to close the apps by doing that instead of hitting the home button. Another couple of things with the, you can get a lot of the same apps obviously on both platforms. So we've got the Kindle apps on here. Okay, back to my point about the apps being somewhat cheaper on Androids. Like the Transformer, for instance, it comes with this Polaris Office app. It's like a full-fledged Office app. You can edit Office documents, create documents. We can go ahead and so with the iPad, you're going to have to obviously buy something like this. They're like 20 bucks. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I don't know, a new file, there we go. It looks like they changed it. So you got the different options here. So it comes with this. And the Transformer also comes with Splash Top Remote, so you can connect it to your desktop computer. So that same exact app is available on the iPad. It just costs some money. Otherwise, the home screen, obviously, the system's a lot comparable with the app icons. And then with the, each of them have the, where you can drag the apps together and you make the folder, sort of like I have with the books right here. So the main difference, obviously, with the ice cream sandwich operating systems, honeycombs, you have all these widgets. So they're all located over here in your app drawer. So you can have these different widgets for everything. Obviously with the iPad you just have this. This is how your home screen works. There's pretty much not any changing it other than you can hold these down and then change the order of stuff. You can choose which icons you want down here, which apps. So that's pretty much it. You can change the background too, obviously. You can go into settings and change the background. But you're not going to have any like live wallpapers like you do with Android or anything like that. So those are some of the differences between the iPad and Asus Transformer, and just sort of Android tablets in general. Pretty much any 10-inch tablet with ice cream sandwich is going to have the same exact sort of features here. I mean, it's not going to come with Player's Office because that's a Asus Transformer thing, but a lot of times they'll come with their own setup and they'll have their own apps pre-installed. Okay, so all in all, the devices are a lot alike. I mean, you have a lot of the same apps. You got the calendar on both of them. We got Google Maps. These are all the pre-installed apps except for this RSS reader right here, and then these book apps, of course. But other than that, these are all pre-installed apps, and you get the same exact sort of thing on the on any Android tablet, pretty much. The bigger 10-inch ones, you're going to get the camera, of course. You got the calendar, so you got the calendar set up. You got the note apps. They both have. This one has a super note app, which is a lot nicer actually than the iPad's note app, and it's got the reminders. Like I said, we got the maps, YouTube, video. So functionality-wise, they're both going to do a lot of the same things. It just pretty much comes down to, do you want the Android platform or the Apple platform? So that's basically your biggest decision to make when getting one of these devices. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right now. Check out the ebookreader.com. I'm going to go ahead and have this review. I'll have this review posted for the Asus Transformer right here, and with some additional information.